The studio lights blazed overhead, casting a familiar glow across the set of The View as Johnny Depp eased into the guest chair. His trademark rings caught the glare as he adjusted his jacket, calm and collected. The audience buzzed with anticipation, phones raised, expecting another light-hearted celebrity interview. Whoopi Goldberg had just wrapped up her cheerful introduction when the cameras went live. Joy Behar wasted no time. "So, Johnny," she began, her tone already edged with something sharper than curiosity. "Let's talk about your latest film. But first," she paused, leaning in, "I think we need to address the elephant in the room." Depp raised an eyebrow, the practiced smile on his face holding. "I'm sorry," he replied calmly. "Which elephant would that be, Joy?" "Oh, come on." Behar shot back, eyebrows lifted. "You know exactly what I'm talking about. Your legal mess, the accusations, the tabloid circus. That elephant." An awkward shift rippled through the other hosts. Whoopi cleared her throat, clearly uncomfortable. "Maybe we should keep this focused on the work," she said gently. But Joy wasn't having it. "No, Whoopi. The viewers deserve honesty. Mr. Depp, how do you expect us to ignore everything that's come out? You think fans are just going to forget the allegations?" Depp's smile faded, confusion and restraint flashing across his face. "With all due respect, I'm here to discuss my craft, my work, to connect with the people who've supported me over the years. I assumed this would be a civilized conversation." "Civilized?" Joy scoffed. "You want to talk about civilized? Let's talk about the accusations, the trials, the chaos. Everywhere you go, there's a trail of drama." The audience grew still, the tension cutting through the set like a blade. Depp straightened in his chair, voice low but firm. "I believe there's been a misunderstanding. Those matters were resolved in court. The truth was heard, and I was vindicated. Why are we relitigating settled issues on live TV? Vindicated." Joy echoed, her voice rising. "Is that what you're calling it? From where I'm sitting, it looks like you've been playing the victim while others paid the price." Sunny Hostin tried to pivot. "Maybe we could talk about your creative process." But Joy barreled ahead. "No, I want to know, how do you sleep at night, Johnny? How do you look in the mirror knowing what you've put people through? How do you face your children?" That line hit like a punch. Depp's expression darkened. When he spoke, his voice was barely above a whisper, but each word landed hard. "Joy, I'm going to stop you right there. My children are off limits. They have nothing to do with this, and dragging them into it is absolutely unacceptable." "Oh, now you want boundaries." Joy pushed, oblivious to the shift in the room. "That's rich, coming from someone who's spent years crossing them." Whoopi was urgently signaling to the producers. Sarah Haynes looked visibly distressed. The audience had gone silent, watching what was no longer an interview, but a slow-motion train wreck. Depp leaned forward slightly, his tone still controlled, but seething beneath the surface. "I came here as a guest. I expected basic decency. What you're doing isn't journalism, Joy. It isn't even tough questioning. It's cruelty. Fruel." Joy barked out a laugh. "Let's talk cruel. Let's talk about what came out in court. The recordings, the evidence, the testimony. That was for the courts to decide. And they did." Depp snapped. "The full truth, not cherry-picked headlines, was presented. And whether you like it or not, I was cleared. You don't have to like the outcome, but it doesn't change the facts." A Joy leaned in, her voice like a blade. "Your truth." "Because there seem to be a lot of versions when it comes to Johnny Depp." Alyssa Farah Griffin tried to salvage things. "Johnny, I know you've got some exciting projects coming up. Can we shift to that?" But Joy wouldn't let go. "No, I think we need to ask the real question. Should someone with your record even be given a platform like this? Should you be celebrated and promoted when there are still so many unanswered questions?" That was it. Depp stood slowly, his chair scraping across the floor. The audience held its breath. The cameras stayed locked as he turned toward Behar. I've been respectful, Joy. I've answered your questions, even when they came loaded. But when you question whether I deserve a platform, whether I deserve basic dignity, you've crossed a line. This isn't journalism. It's character assassination. Behar stayed seated, defiant. Oh, here we go. Playing the victim again. That's your move, isn't it? The second someone asks the hard questions, you cry foul. You walk away. Depp looked at her for a long moment, cold, unreadable. Then, without another word, he turned and walked off the set. The silence that followed said everything. Camera operators stood frozen, receiving conflicting instructions from the control room. Cut to commercial or keep rolling. No one seemed to know. The audience sat in stunned silence, watching something spiral completely out of control in real time. You know what, Joy? Depp's voice cut through the chaos like a scalpel, cold, sharp, precise. I'm not playing the victim. I came here to talk about my work, to speak to the people who've stood by me. But instead, I walked into an ambush from someone who clearly passed judgment long before I stepped onto this stage. Joy leaned forward, sarcasm dripping from every word. Oh, please, spare us the righteous monologue. You think you can stroll in here with a grin and some rings, and we'll all just forget, pretend like none of it ever happened. What I expect, Depp said, visibly holding back, is basic professionalism. What I deserve is to be treated like a human being, not a sideshow freak you can poke and provoke for ratings. The other hosts sat motionless. Whoopi kept glancing nervously at the control booth. Sunny clutched her hands in her lap. The energy in the room was electric and terrifying. Human being. Joy scoffed, laughing coldly. That's rich, coming from someone who's built an empire playing pirates and lunatics. Maybe you've worn so many masks you've forgotten who you are. Depp shook his head slowly. And now it's my career you're going after. My life's work. Tell me, Joy, what exactly did I do to earn this level of contempt from you? What crime have I committed in your courtroom of public opinion? You really want the list, she hissed. We could be here all day. The accusations, the lawsuits, the relationships left in ruins, the damage, legal bills. Depp's voice cracked for the first time, emotion bubbling just beneath the surface. You want to talk about legal bills? Do you have any idea what it cost me to clear my name? The toll it took, while people like you decided I was guilty before a single piece of evidence was ever shown. Sarah Haynes finally spoke, softly but firmly. Maybe we should take a breath, or live. But Joy didn't flinch. No, Sarah. This is the conversation. This is what journalism looks like, asking the hard questions instead of kissing up to a movie star. Depp's laugh was bitter and hollow. Journalism. You call this journalism? This is a public execution disguised as an interview? Oh, don't be so dramatic, Joy sneered. Although drama's what you're best at, isn't it? The tortured hero act. The carefully curated image. Image management. Depp stepped closer to the table, voice low and deadly. If I were managing my image, do you think I'd be standing here letting you shred me on Lev TV? You think I chose this circus? Maybe you did. Joy snapped back, unmoved. Maybe this whole thing, this tragic hero routine, is part of your comeback tour. Poor Johnny, crucified by the big bad media. The audience remained frozen, phones still held aloft, eyes wide in disbelief. That's when Whoopi finally spoke, her voice heavy with experience. Joy, we need to dial this back. This has gone too far. But Joy turned to her co-host with a glare. Has it, Whoopi? Or have we finally scraped off the Hollywood gloss and seen what's really underneath? What's underneath? Depp said, now completely composed, almost eerily calm, is a man who's fought for his name, his family, his sanity. I came here thinking I could have a civil conversation. Instead, I've been dragged through the mud in front of a live audience. Dragged. Joy raised her voice. This isn't dragging, Johnny. This is accountability. For once, someone's not treating you like royalty. This is called being held responsible. Responsible for what? Depp exploded, voice now echoing off the studio walls. For fighting back when I was falsely accused. For defending myself with the only weapon left to me. The truth. Alyssa Farrah Griffin tried one more time. Maybe we could focus on the positive. Johnny's career, the impact he's had. But Joy cut her off sharply. The impact. What about the impact on everyone around him? What about the wreckage? The people left behind? Or are we just going to pretend they don't matter? Depp stared her down, fury smoldering just beneath the surface. The only wreckage I see is what's left of actual journalism. Burned to the ground by your personal vendetta. You're not holding me accountable, Joy. You're settling some imaginary score in front of an audience. For what? Ratings. Joy rose from her seat now, voice matching his. This isn't personal, Johnny. This is about consequences. This is about not letting fame buy immunity. The real world has come calling, Depp said, stepping forward again. It came in the form of a courtroom, with real evidence, real cross-examinations, real verdicts, and I was vindicated. It's only in your twisted little theater that I'm still on trial. The air was thick, suffocating. Cameras rolled on. No one moved. Twisted version of reality. Joy's voice trembled with fury. You want to talk about twisted? Let's talk about the version where you get to cry victim while others suffer. Let's talk about the version where your truth is the only one that counts. Depp's voice thundered now, all restraint gone. My truth is the one that stood up in court, Joy. My truth is the one that survived cross-examination, expert witnesses, and the scrutiny of a jury. So don't sit there and pretend your sensationalized narrative is more valid than the legal system that cleared my name. The studio had never been quieter, and the nation was watching every second. Depp leaned in, eyes dark. What's your truth based on, Joy? Tabloid headlines, Twitter gossip, your own personal vendettas? Behar didn't blink. Her voice was steel. My truth is based on patterns, Johnny. Patterns of behavior. Patterns of deflection. Patterns where everyone else is the villain, except you. That's what I see. Depp threw his hands up. The only pattern I see is a talk show host confusing entertainment with execution. You don't ask questions. You prosecute. You don't interview. You attack for ratings. Goopy shot to her feet, her chair clattering back. That's enough! Both of you, we're live. This has crossed every professional line imaginable. Joy turned on her, her voice sharp. No, Whoopi. Don't protect him. This needed to happen. Someone had to hold him accountable. Accountable to you. Depp's voice cracked with disbelief. To your version of morality. Who made you judge and jury? Since when is daytime TV a kangaroo court? But Joy didn't flinch. Since celebrities started thinking they were above consequences. Since men like you started believing their own PR and stopped caring about the damage they left behind. Sarah Haynes' voice trembled. Joy, please. This isn't what we do. This isn't who we are. Joy spun to her, eyes burning. Isn't it, Sarah? Or is this exactly who we should be? Or should we just nod along while the same troubled geniuses keep getting handed redemption arcs on a silver platter? Depp gave a hollow, bitter laugh. There it is, problematic, the magic word that excuses any cruelty, any smear. I'm not some villain you invented. I'm human, flawed, yes, but not the monster you're desperate to make me out to be. Joy stepped in closer. Then prove it. Stop hiding behind your legal teams and sympathy interviews. Stop playing the tortured artist and take real responsibility for the chaos that follows you. What more do you want? Depp's voice broke. I've lost roles. Friends, years of my life. My name was dragged through filth by people who never knew me, who didn't care about the truth, just wanted to see someone fall. What else do you want? I want you to admit, Joy said coldly, that maybe you're not the innocent you play, that your choices hurt people, real people. Depp's voice was a raw wound. And what about my pain, Joy? What about my kids? My family? My friends who watched me crucified in public for things I didn't do? Doesn't that pain count in your calculation? For the first time. Joy hesitated, but only briefly. Your pain doesn't erase the pain of others, Johnny. Your suffering doesn't cancel out the damage you may have caused. Depp snapped to attention. May have caused. So now we're dealing in hypotheticals. I thought you were all about facts and accountability, but you're convicting me on vibes and headlines. Sunny Hostin finally spoke, her voice calm but firm. Joy, from a legal perspective, relitigating settled matters on air like this is not only unprofessional, it borders on actionable. Joy laughed bitterly. Are you threatening me, Sunny? Is that what we're doing now? Threaten anyone who questions the Johnny Depp redemption tour. Depp stepped in. No one's threatening anyone. But Sunny's right. This isn't journalism. It's not even entertainment. It's personal. And everyone in this room knows it. The Joy exploded, mask fully off. You're damn right it's personal. I'm tired of watching powerful men charm their way out of accountability while women pay the price. I've seen too many brilliant women destroyed while men like you keep getting chance after chance. Depp's voice turned cold. Men like me? What does that mean? Joy, what box are you putting me in to justify this takedown? The box of men who think the rules don't apply to them. She shot back. Who play the victim when the consequences finally catch up? Alyssa made one last desperate attempt to salvage control. Can we please remember that millions of people are watching this? Can we think about the message we're sending? LaJoy didn't flinch. She turned directly to the camera, voice sharp and unwavering. The message we're sending is simple. No one is above scrutiny. Fame and fortune don't entitle you to immunity from real questions and real accountability. Johnny Depp shifted in his seat, then calmly faced the cameras himself. The message you're sending is that due process means nothing. That legal vindication is irrelevant. That a person can be destroyed not by facts, but by accusations. And if the accuser has a loud enough voice and a big enough platform, that's all it takes. Chaos erupted in the control room. Producers shouted conflicting commands. Staff scrambled to decide whether to cut to commercial, but the cameras kept rolling, capturing the total collapse of professionalism live on air. Joy's voice spiked. You want to talk about due process? What about the women you hurt? What about their right to be heard? Their right to be believed? Their right to have their truth acknowledged? The Johnny's response was measured but firm. Their truth was heard, in a courtroom, under oath, with cross-examination and legal scrutiny. And you know what? I was vindicated. The facts came out, just not the version of the truth you wanted to hear. So now, what? You're trying to relitigate it on The View. Vindicated by a legal system built to protect men like you. Joy snapped back. A system that's failed countless victims. So now it's not just me, Johnny said, incredulous. First it was my reputation, then my career, then my character, and now it's the entire justice system. Where does it end, Joy? What won't you burn down to keep your crusade alive? Whoopi stepped in, her voice cutting through the noise with the authority of a gavel. That's enough. This ends now. Johnny, I apologize for what's happened here today. This is not what we stand for. Don't apologize for me, Joy shot back. I'm not sorry. Not for asking real questions, and not for refusing to participate in his redemption tour. This was never about redemption, Johnny said, the fight leaving his voice. This was supposed to be about connection, about sharing something I care about with people who might appreciate it. But instead, I got a televised execution. Joy leaned forward, her tone ice cold. If you can't handle tough questions, maybe you should stick to playing pretend. Because real life. Clearly too much for you. That line hung in the air like poison. Depp stared at her for a long beat. Then he shook his head. You know what? I actually feel sorry for you. For someone who's become so addicted to outrage that you can't even recognize a human being when he's sitting across from you. You've forgotten that behind every headline is a person. With pain, with history, with dignity. He turned back to the audience, his voice soft but steady. I came here today to connect, to share something that matters to me. But instead, I got ambushed by someone more interested in destruction than dialogue, more interested in scoring points than finding truth. Then, turning back to Joy one last time. I hope one day you find what you're actually looking for. Because this isn't justice. It's cruelty dressed up as righteousness. And with that, Johnny Depp stood up and walked off the set of The View, leaving behind a stunned studio, a host who had finally crossed a line, and a viral moment that would rock daytime television. The broadcast finally cut to commercial, but the damage was done. Clips were already flooding social media. The headlines were already being written. And one question was on everyone's mind. How did a simple interview turn into a national reckoning? What do you think? Have you ever seen anything like this on daytime TV? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more explosive Hollywood moments you won't see anywhere else.